Hello, and welcome back once again to Benny's Alternate Universe, the place where I invite you to come step into my, in this case, living room, more importantly, my world and my realm. Check out what's going on in my tape collection and stuff I've been collecting, meet some of my friends, and have a gay old time. I want to just let everybody know there's been some, I guess, rumors circulating. The show is going to go on just as long as I see fit, and there's absolutely nothing that's going to stop me from making my show. Having said that, tonight we are taking a look at one of the more popular bands of the 90s, alternative explosion, superstar band for sure from Chicago. Via their frontman, the always outrageous, frequently irritating and confounding, pompous yet certainly gifted guitarist and songwriter. I mean, he's William Billy Corgan, frontman of Chicago's Smashing Pumpkins, and today we're talking about Mellon, Collie and the Infinite Sadness Tape 2 from 1995. I picked up Mellon, Collie and the Infinite Sadness Tape 2 at Salvation Army for 49 cents about 2 years ago. It was a cool find. I, of course, had this tape as a kid, as I was a Smashing Pumpkins fan. Their first album, Gish, was quite cool, and their second album, Siamese Dream, I still think is a really fantastic album. For a lot of reasons, it is the best Smashing Pumpkins album by far for me personally, and some of those reasons are sentimental, but the others come down to the fact that the guitar tones are some of the best I've heard on any album ever in my many years of listening to electric guitars on record. The album was produced by Butch Vig, who also produced Nevermind, which to me was not a standout production. And he also produced Dirty by Sonic Youth, which was a very standout production and which also had some of the best guitar tones of the 90s. Excuse me. I am a heavy smoker. It's late night in Connecticut. I've been listening to Mellon, Collie Tape 2 all day. But to be more specific, I've been listening to Mellon, Collie Side 3. Because their album Mellon, Collie and the Infinite Sadness, which was the follow-up to Siamese Dream, which was their arrival as superstar musicians, I guess, had some big hit singles in Disarm, Today, and to a lesser extent Cherub Rock, which was the first song I heard from them and which is just a killer ripper. It's one of the things that I always liked and still kind of like about Smashing Pumpkins is that they have a metal side that is strong. They are a very good metal band when that is what they choose to do, and that's one of the times when I think Corgan's voice is actually kind of cool in its way, in that it's so unusual. You know, I think it's cool in like not that he's as good, but almost like Halford or King Diamond, just in that their voice is so strange. It adds a cool element to the metal, and so they released a double album, Mellon, Collie, and most of the bigger hits are on tape 1, which is cool for me because, you know, I'm a fiend for the deep cuts, love the deep cuts, and this was an album that the hit singles Bullet with Butterfly Wings and especially Tonight were played a lot back in the day. The video for Tonight, you would not go one day without seeing this stupid video, and it was like a tie-in with the album cover. I'm not going to give this album the cover art award, by the way. I hate this cover. I thought this was so dumb when it came out, and there's a whole theme going on with like cutesy, you know, Victorian child art and stuff, and then the video was like this silent film era, and Corgan had this outfit like Willy Wonka, and it really wasn't cool at all. And I didn't think it was cool then, and I don't think so now either. I'm not a huge fan of music videos in general. Like, I didn't think Today was a cool video where they're playing with the paint. But I thought it was a much cooler song than Tonight Tonight. That's funny, they went from Today to Tonight Tonight. But, so we avoid some of those pitfalls by only listening to tape 2. And it also gives a cool insight into the sequencing. Tape 1 was not without its weak tracks. I don't have it here for reference, but I will say that side 3 of Mellon, Collie and the Infinite Sadness is excellent. And not only that, I think it's a really cool cross-section of this era of Smashing Pumpkins, and it seems to be really quite lengthy. I haven't measured it, but it's at least half an hour long. I think well over that. I think it might be about 40 minutes long, just that side. And if that's the case, then I would say definitely, if you want to get into this era of Smashing Pumpkins, check out side 3 of Mellon, Collie and the Infinite Sadness. The opening track, Where Boys Fear to Tread, I don't know why I can never pronounce that, is really cool metal song, or in the metal vein. You know, I know people get upset. Oh, you know, Melvins aren't metal. Oh, Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins, they aren't metal. It's just a term that I use for a certain style of music. It has nothing to do with lyrics or imagery to me, per se. I mean, you know, of course, there's a whole world of metal and metal subgenres that have their own kind of signifiers. But when I say something's metal, what I really mean is the guitar and the drums are trying to achieve some kind of power and heaviness. A minor tonality, darkness and heaviness. I mean, we know what metal is, and I think track 1 is very metal, and track 2, Bodies, is quite metal. And this is actually one of my favorite Pumpkins deep cuts. Really cool song. The track 333, I have a soft spot for it. It's one of their more beautiful ballads. You could make it last forever, if you remember that. It was very nice. In the Arms of Sleep is the only one on side 3 that doesn't really make a strong impression for me. It has sort of what I would describe as like a western-y kind of feel to it, and it's okay. It's not a bad tune. After that is 1979. This is a song that brings back a lot of fond memories, and though it may be played out, I think it's a cool song, and it's a cool departure from the normal Pumpkin sound as well, with the drum machine and all that. Tales of a Scorched Earth is a ripping metal tune. Very cool. Through the Eyes of Ruby is a very epic tune, which is something that Pumpkins do really well, and that you know, not everybody in the genre at that time was good at doing these very grandiose, epic tunes. Like I think Soundgarden maybe was in the same league for epicness, but that's a really nice tune that goes through a lot of movements and some great guitar sounds, psychedelic guitar sounds. And then finally, the side ends with Stumbling, which is a really cool and very short ballad-ish, like a dark ballad, with just Corgan and his vocal, and that's cool too. Fans of Landslide might enjoy that, but it is a bit darker, and it's short, so it's a nice way to end the side. And then side 2, I'm going to run out of time, so I'm going to sort of blanket over it, but the thing about side 2, the opening track, XYU, is decent enough, another heavy banger, but they then go through like 5 songs in a row that are really among the worst Smashing Pumpkins songs, truly. We Only Come Out at Night is so incredibly corny. It's like some kind of, again, Victorian type, I don't even know, beer hall music with the piano. It's really, really a little bit Broadway maybe, or Savile Row, whatever they do over there. Beautiful is bad. Lily, My One and Only, is so bad. Definitely one of the worst Smashing Pumpkins songs I've ever heard. And By Starlight didn't make a dent. And Farewell and Good Night, the only thing about that is that it has James Iha on the vocal and Darcy, so it's a nice change up. Okay, I'm gonna do the Ducks real quick before I say I think definitely pick up Mellon Collie tape 2 if, like me, you find it at Salvation Army for 50 cents. And I honestly, I could listen to side 3 of Mellon Collie and the Infinite Sadness all day. I think it's really cool. Probably the best side, but I would have to get a copy of tape 1 to really make that comparison. Okay. Does it have longevity? Sadly, yes. People still listen to this, and they were unique. Give that to the Pumpkins. They broke away from the pack with their super dramatic, you know, emo styled metal, psychedelic, whatever they were doing, plus balladry, and I don't know, they were such a weird band. I mean, they had their own thing going. Not really fun. Heavy as a mother. Sometimes super heavy. I don't like the cover art. Not really that funky overall. Doesn't, for me, it's not really something special. I mean, it reminds me of my youth, but it doesn't really excite that much. This particular album especially. It has some very good songs on it, but overall not really the greatest album. Production though, definitely. They always had awesome production. And this album is no exception. It might be their most ornate and intricate production ever. It was so much fun talking with you guys once again here on Benny's Alternate Universe. I want to say thanks for spending this period of time with me, and there will be many, many, many more to come in the future. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Till then, peace.